What's up, guys? Roberto Parker here with Innovative Sports Training. Welcome to another Health Detective Talk. A few weeks ago, I did a topic on training, workout, exercise based on personality / autonomic nervous type. Today, I'm going to focus on body type. Let me start out by saying this. Anytime you hear me talk about any sort of specific type of programs or workouts or eating plans, they are not etched in stone. As I said many times before, every person has their own individual biochemical footprint and thumbprint. So everything is not exactly 100%. I don't want to paint with a broad brush and say this is the way, because there is no way necessarily. So it's going to vary from person to person, 50, 60, 70% accuracy. Maybe higher, maybe lower. But let's get into it. There are three distinct body types: ectomorph, mesomorph, and endomorph. I'm going to go over each one a little bit in small detail without taking up too much time here. Let's talk about the ectomorph first. Typically, this person has a thin build. If they take it to the extreme where they're not active enough, they can develop and become a skinny, fat person. You ever seen a person like that? They're thin, but they got a little bit of a belly on them. They're skinny, fat. Typically, ectomorphs make better distance runners. So, for example, people that run the Boston, New York, Kansas City, New York, or Dallas marathons, they are typically very thin people. Cyclists tend to be thin people. So you want to have less weight when you run those types of events because weight can be a detriment to you. So usually they're very thin people. Typically thinner people lean more towards doing cardiovascular type of training. Not always. Once again, everything's not set in stone here. But their bodies are more built for that, so they tend to gravitate towards that. Now the thing about the ectomorph, if they take it to the extreme also, they can burn muscle very easily, which is not good because muscle is a stabilizer of the body, and muscle really also are organs of the body that also produce hormones. Now, I'll talk about this in a second here, isolation. Going across the board here, a mesomorph. That is someone who's built more athletically, so to speak. Now keep in mind, we're all athletes. But what you would envision what an athlete would look like. They're usually muscular. They usually have more hypertrophy in their body. So that is a more athletic type of build. The mesomorph tends to build muscle more easily than the ectomorph. Now, taken to the extreme, a mesomorphic type of person can build what we call muscle fat. They're big. They're muscular, but they have too much body fat. An example of that would be a football lineman in football, offensive lineman or defensive lineman. Or it could be like a sumo wrestler. They're muscle, but yet they're carrying a lot of weight. Now, going on across the board here, endomorph. Now, this is somebody who is pretty much built like an apple. They tend to hold on to fat very easily. They're kind of plump. Typically, they're sedentary, not always. You know, maybe they're just not training right, they're doing the right things, but they just can't take the weight off. But typically, these people tend to be more sedentary in nature. Now, let's talk about if all three of these take it to the extreme where they're counterproductive in their training and their health isn't what it should be. Their bodies are not responding in a positive way. What I would do as a trainer, coach, consultant with the ectomorph, I'm going to put them on a program that is more isolative in nature, almost like a bodybuilder, because they're thin. I want to isolate more muscle or specific types of muscles. For example, you might have a person who's an ectomorph, and I'll talk about this in a second, the combinations. They might be very muscular up top from the waist up, but very skinny from the waist down. They might be built like a bird, or vice versa. You know, they might have really big legs and very thin up here. So we have to isolate a little bit more there. Now the mesomorph. Now because they are more athletic in build, and they tend to put on more muscle fat. I'm going to put them more on a speed, strength, agility, and circuit type of training rotation. In other words, I want to keep them moving a little bit more. Make it athletic because they're going to respond to that better, for one thing. Also, I want to do a circuit because I know that's going to help keep that percentage of body fat down, at the same time retain muscle. Now for the endomorphic person, this person here, circuit training, but we're going to focus on getting your insulin more stable, because that's why they're having a hard time taking off body fat, because their insulin is very, very erratic. It's too high, in other words. And they're not getting that testosterone production like they should. They're not getting that growth hormone production like they should. And anytime your insulin is elevated, growth hormone levels are low. And growth hormone is what's going to help you become more muscular, such as the mesomorphic type of person. Sometimes the ectomorphic type of person. Now let's look at the combinations, because you can certainly do a combination of these things. You can be more of a hybrid type of body build. The ecto-meso. This is someone who's athletically built, but they're still thin. An example of that would be, let's say, a point guard in basketball. I'll use some athletic analogies here. Someone who's a track athlete, maybe a 400 meter or 800 meter athlete. They're thin, but they're muscular. How about a meso-endo? Now, that is a person who has a very large frame with some body fat. Once again, they're kind of a muscle fat type of person, but they're a meso-endo. Typically, you're going to find this type of an individual in a sport like football or wrestling or maybe MMA, maybe certain positions in basketball, maybe like a center. They're big, but yet they're maybe got a little bit too much body fat on them. So typically you're going to find that, or a shot putter or discus tosser in track and field. They're muscular, but yet they've got a little bit of body fat on them. Now, an ecto-endo, we talked about this earlier also, is someone who's more skinny fat. They're thin, but yet they have a propensity to put on weight around the belly button area. By the way, if you ever want to really determine if you're losing body fat, measure your waistline around the belly button. Because if you're truly losing body fat, your waistline, in particular around the belly button, will decrease. If you're losing weight, but your waist stays the same or grows larger, that is not good. That means you're mainly losing muscle and or water. So this has been a topic on body types. Now once again, guys, everything is not etched in stone here. The type of training each one of these people are going to do is going to be a little bit different, and there's so many different hybrids and combinations of how people respond. Once again, I talked about this in one of my health detective topics. It's how you react to the exercise and the program of eating that we put you on. Because this person here, they may not respond to doing too many weights. This person here may not respond to doing too much circuit training. This person here may not respond to doing some circuit training. We may have to up doing more weightlifting with this person, or maybe more isolation with this person, and maybe more circle with this person. So everything is not totally etched in stone, like I said. But typically speaking, this is what the profile is of each one of these three different body types: ecto, meso, and endo. Guys, I hope this has been educational and helpful for you. Please give me a call sometimes and we can sit down and discuss your athletic, your health and fitness goals. My name is Roberto Parker. Once again, my email is rwpsports@yahoo.com. Thanks for listening. Take care and God bless. Bye-bye.